Good morning. Whew, good night's sleep last night, Clear Lake. This is my first morning on the water. Kind of a slow start. You know why? Because it was such a great campsite. And such a beautiful place. Whew, just did 160 rod portage, which I don't know what that is in feet. I hate rods. They make no sense. Just switch to metric or something. That's much easier to comprehend. Right now I'm back on the Kawashiwi River. I'm gonna head out for an adventurous day. Whew. So, this is the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness, northern Minnesota. About maybe, 100 miles south of the Canadian border. This beautiful wilderness full of lakes, rivers, beautiful trees. It's middle of September. The fall colors are just starting to come in. I'd say probably every 50th tree decides to be bright and orange. And I really like it. The water is actually not too cold. I thought it'd be much colder. Didn't jump in yet, but you know, knee deep is about as far as I've gotten so far. Lovely campsite on Clear Lake last night. Set up my hammock. It was actually really hot in the afternoon. I had a perfect view of the sunset. Just this giant viewing rock right in the middle of my campsite. It was freaking amazing. Just overhang right over the lake. And then I got my hammock and thought I'd be, sweating my ass off, but it actually dropped down to low 50s. So, that was a pleasant surprise. I didn't have to be sweating my ass off. I did bring my 30-degree quilt with me, so it kept me nice and warm. Till about 4 a.m. I woke up a little cold, readjusted the under quilt, and went back to sleep. Probably the best night's sleep I've had camping out in a long time. I normally don't sleep that well. So, we shall see what we do today. Right now, we're heading down the Kawashiwi. I can't say that word. I think I said it right. Kawashiwi River. And we're going probably paddle around till maybe 5 p.m. today. I'd say yesterday I got to camp at 3, so it is almost 11. Beautiful skies. Might be a hotter day than yesterday, because yesterday was overcast in the morning, so might have to switch out of the long sleeves for lunch. So my boat for this trip is a North Star Northwind Solo. This is actually my first legit solo canoe I've ever paddled. It is a dream to paddle. I still want to try out a pack boat. Be a little bit lower, a little bit smaller, double bladed paddles. I definitely want to try one of those out. But next year might be a Kevlar carbon boat purchase, because this thing is so much easier to lift up than my 88-pound, 90-pound green tank, which I love. But that aluminum canoe is a bitch to lift up and off the van. So I don't know which. This might be 15 feet long. It's very stable. It's super easy to paddle. Holds a straight line pretty well. I don't know if I have it trimmed out right. I'm still getting that used to it. Working on my J-stroke, because of course, being a Florida boy, we don't do no J-strokes down there. Good evening. Beginning of night 2, second campsite. Kawashiwi River. Beautiful, beautiful place. I mean, it just, this campsite is unreal. So I paddled till about 4 and decided on this island campsite. It's literally my own private island. It's about maybe the size of a, I don't know, half a football field or something like that. Right over there, there's an eagle's nest. Been hearing them feed the baby for the last couple hours. So this campsite's sick. Kitchen fireplace. You got plenty of open space, but I don't have a tent, so canoe storage. Take you over to see where my setup is. Oh. Got my hammock set up. Dream Hammock Darien. We got a war bonnet mini fly in the polyester. And tonight's heating accommodations is Enlightened Equipments. We got one of their synthetic underquilts. We got a 30-degree down quilt. And loving this setup. It's a beautiful little area. All to myself. Nice moss. Lichen and stuff. Just looks like a freaking wonderland. Here's a shot of the interior. Pretty much keeps your butt warm. Boom. Surrounded by this beautiful mossy lichen stuff. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's one other group camping across the that side of the lake right now. I haven't seen anybody else on the lake at all, so not crowded at all. Loving it. So I slept on this little island yesterday, all by myself. Fucking sweet. Woke up this morning, did a little paddle in the morning. You know, got to see me a beaver, just doing laps. It was like this little cul-de-sac area, and I was just doing laps, swimming around, saying hi. And now I'm getting ready to do a little adventure, little solo, gearless. I'm pretty much, the boat's empty because I'm staying here tonight. So same campsite tonight. Perfect little island, so had a schedule. Now the boundary waters, it's very similar to Algonquin, except I think everything's a little bit smaller. The rocks are a little smaller, the trees are a little smaller, and the portages seemed a little bit easier. You know, unless it's my route, who knows? I don't know if my route was super easy this time, but I'm ahead of schedule. So I can do a little sidetrack adventure. I'm going to go try to track down some marsh, some areas where maybe I'll see some moose, maybe some deer. But until then, see you guys later. my hammock, sitting here and under the tarp, enjoying the rain and the thunder. So what I did was I decided to stay here tonight again, so camping 2 nights in a row at the same campsite, my own little island. So I took a light boat, didn't pack much stuff, just packed what I needed, and did about a 5-hour canoe trip. Saw some rapids, tried to get back into a marsh but couldn't really get there. So on the way back, started storming. Oh, it started raining, and then right before I got back, it started storming. So I hustled it pretty hard, raised my tarp up a little bit, and dried off as much as I could, changed my clothes, and I'm stuck under the tarp. But I'm in a hammock, so it's not that bad. So, no idea how long this is going to last. Got no way of checking the weather. And, hopefully can have a fire tonight. Maybe not. Maybe it'll just be a long night in the hammock. Who knows? But even though it's raining, it's freaking beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. So I just had some brunch, a nice little spot, just on the opposite side of a portage. Nice little rapids section right here. How is my battery almost dead already? This is fucking ridiculous. Oh man, it's windy. I don't even know if you can hear me. But had some oatmeal and peanut butter. And now I gotta cross a very, very, very windy lake. So this ought to be interesting. I'll see you on the other side. So windy and choppy out there in the middle of that lake. I gotta kind of hug the shore, even though it's still not much better right in here, but got all these rocks to contend with. View's prettier. Yep, no, it's definitely whitecaps out there. It's definitely better in here. Oh, this is beautiful. Even though it's a struggle, still unbelievably beautiful. It's wide open spaces. Just me, my boat, and my paddle. It is the morning of day 5. I'm just leaving a absolutely stunning campsite right on a point. There's an island to the right, some little rapids, there's water on both sides, there's rushing water, there's calm water. You know, just unbelievably perfect. I wasn't planning on camping there last night. Just planning on scavenging some firewood. However, it was just so perfect. It did get windy. Very windy. I would say probably gusts, pushing 20-30 miles an hour towards the end of the day. On my last little lunch break, I took one of the portage roads towards one of the dams that's been busted down, and on the way back I heard a giant freaking tree just snap and crash down about a couple hundred feet away from me. So yeah, it was like a big crack, and then 2 more cracks, and then like this screeching thud just echoed across the whole lake. So yeah, don't camp next to dying trees or trees you think you're gonna fall over. But it's still beautiful. The wind pretty much kicked up until about 8:30, and then all of a sudden just like a light switch just turned right off. The stars came out after the clouds blew through, and it was unbelievable. I really need to go out to the southwest and do some Milky Way photography and some viewing, because I could see the Milky Way up here, and it was pretty cool. I don't have much paddling. I think about like 2, maybe 3 hours of paddling left. I'll stop and have some lunch before I make it back to the final portage back to my truck. And then we're gonna go back into Ely, and we are gonna maybe take a shower. I don't know, who knows. Drop the canoe off, see what the town's like. Have a nice, you know what would be nice? A nice beer. Yeah. And oh yeah, I think I have some whiskey waiting back for me at the car, because I somehow don't have any of the whiskey that I bought the entire time. Forgot the whiskey. I bought it, just forgot to put it in my bag. So it's either sitting right next to my truck, or it's in the back seat. That would have been nice. I did have a little bit of vodka and some strawberry or raspberry limeade drink mixes. So I had little free cocktails every night. Basically 2 ounces. I'd ration out the vodka. But it's outdoors for you. You always forget something. Right now, just birds chirping, gentle breeze, nice leisurely paddle. Compared to yesterday afternoon, man, yesterday afternoon, some of that wind gusts were pretty damn gnarly. I was trying to find sheltered cove after sheltered cove and then zip across the lake as fast as I could, perpendicular to the wind, catching it like a sail. But there's some whitecaps out there. Not exactly desirable canoe weather. However, this canoe did fabulously well. I still think I have it a little bit front heavy, but even that, I have never been able to push a canoe so fast as this one. And I think I only struggled with it twice, trying to keep the bow pointed where I wanted to, and that was because I was completely broadside to the wind in the middle of a gust. But I love these pine needles. Just blanketing everything now. All the fall colors are starting to creep in. I'm sure in about 2 weeks it'll be beautiful up here. More so than it is now. I don't know if that's imaginable, but I'm sure it will be. Right now the birches are starting to turn. Some of the pines are starting to lose their leaves a little bit, but just an unbelievable place. So far, no moose, no bear, no deer. Lots of eagles. I mean, I've seen one vulture and way more eagles than vultures. Definitely not used to that. Chipmunks, squirrels, that one friendly beaver from a while back. Lots of little finches or chickadees or things, some woodpeckers, frogs, turtles. Thought I saw some signs of otters, but I didn't see the otters themselves. Saw lots of clams or mollusks or mussels or whatever just piled up on the shore. Don't know if that's from fishermen, doubt it. Most likely from otters, just piling up their dinner in a rock. The dream hammock's been wonderful. So glad I got back brought the hammock instead of the tent. I kind of debated bringing my tent, but I sleep so much better in a hammock. This is the best I've ever slept while camping. Normally I can't camp for shit, or can't sleep for shit while I camp. But I think I woke up like a handful of times, was able to go right back to sleep. And slept through pretty much the whole night, which I've never do. I always am like asleep 10% of the time and awake 90% of the time. So this was definitely more like a 70% of the time I was sleeping and 30% I was awake. But most of the time when I was awake, I was just watching a movie on my phone, because you know why? Netflix! Oh man. Alright, well, I'm gonna enjoy this.